Is Deadpool 2 finally out for the masses, and are we going to talk about it without and then with spoilers? Why, yes. Is there amazing Mysterio casting news? And do we have a date for Infinity War while it makes more money on home video? This is Marvel Movie News.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's Marvel Movie News.
Excelsior to you, our Merry Marvellites. Welcome to a very special chimichong-tastic, slightly earlier than normal episode of Marvel Movie News. This is episode 181, and we are once again, because it is still Deadpool time, coming to you live from Sister Margaret's School for Wayward Girls. Now, you can find us on iTunes at iTunes, if you type in Marvel Movie News. You can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/Popcorn Talk Network. You can find us on Popcorn Talk's website, popcorntalknetwork.com, or on Twitter at Marvel News PTN or the Popcorn Talk. Lastly, you might find us on Facebook. It's a rarity. It's like finding a Pokemon in the grass. But sometimes it happens.
But a rare Pokemon. It's like Mewtwo.
The most special of all.
It's not like Magikarp, and not in the grass. That would actually be fishing.
That'd be a bold thing if Magikarp was in the grass. That was a dead Magikarp, you implied.
Let's say it's a Geodude.
Let's call it a
in
Snorlax.
The grass instead of the mountains.
We're a bunch of Snorlax sleeping on
go.
Facebook. You gotta wake us up, we appear. And it's always worth it. And so, we are clear to the Marvel Movie News. And today, joining us on the table to talk Deadpool, Associate Producer Amy.
Hi, that is me. I am Amy Cassandra Martinez. Hi, guys.
And as always, the lovely Miss Markeia McCarty.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Markeia McCarty, MarkeiaMcCarty.
And Mr. Ant Manthony in the booth.
Oh, what up, everybody? I'm Anthony here. I hope you're liking the red lights behind you because it's a Deadpool special.
Oh, yeah. And if you
Excellent.
retweet us whilst we are live, this man you hear the voice of will retweet you.
Got you, boo.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, I like that.
Oh, that
DJ
was like
sound
stereo.
effect.
It's like Quiet Storm.
Ant Manthony's everywhere.
X-Force.
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 Speaking of X-Force, we're going to talk briefly non-spoilers. We covered non-spoilers a lot last week, but we'll do a little non-spoilers to warm up just in case you didn't get the intro and you just dove in, you wanted to skip the sound bites. So what we're going to do is we'll talk non-spoilers, then we'll wave and lights will blink when we go into spoilers, and those lights will stay until we're done, so you know when it's safe, because then the rest of the show, obviously, is not spoilers, because we're talking about the future. Okay, so non-spoiler thoughts on Deadpool. Amy, what'd you think?
I enjoyed it. It was very fun. There were moments that I was surprisingly emotional. Did not expect those going in. Love some of the new characters that we got. And yeah, I think a lot of the fun with Deadpool is going in with a really cool crowd. And just hearing everyone in the theater freaking out, laughing, just having a great time just made it way more enjoyable than it already was.
Absolutely.
So yeah, for sure enjoyed
So a
it.
good theater experience.
Yes.
So maybe give it your money. Maybe. It's an idea I had.
It's a really good idea.
It's a novel concept.
Maybe give it money.
Let's play it.
Do it.
It's like maybe it breaks its own record with top R rated.
Of all time, and maybe
Yeah,
Deadpool
like
3
maybe
happens
does that.
sooner. Maybe
Indeed,
in the
I
next
like
Force
that.
17, because I wouldn't be mad at it.
Oh, I wonder why you of all people
I
would
just
say
feel
that.
like maybe Deadpool's my guy. I love it.
I love that hat, by the way.
Yeah.
For anybody who's on iTunes, Coy's hat,
It's
Coy's
like a-
hat is bae.
It's like a 3-sided hat. Like, it's a lot of Deadpool. I'm very, finding this hat was... I found the last known physical Spencers. I found a Spencer's. Remember those from the 90s?
Yes,
I
I
found
do
one
remember
Spencer's.
Spencer's.
Right? I found one in real life.
I got
This
really
hat was
excited
in it.
about that. Wow.
Amy,
Yeah.
OG Spencer's fan.
I guess so. I guess so.
Spoiler-free thoughts. What did you think?
Yeah, I've seen it 3 times now, and all of them have been in 2D for it. And the first crowd was like the screening crowd, and was surprised. They were really all about it.
Yeah.
And then the second crowd that I saw it with, I guess it was just the timing. It was just like, no, okay. And then the third was even less, but it seemed like
Really?
people really super enjoyed it. Yeah, I just saw it last night. Yeah, they very calm. There were a lot of chuckles, and I was like,
Oh, the Deadpool.
I was like, oh, it's like, we're watching, water polo,
With the pinky.
horse polo, Deadpool. Yeah, but you definitely got the feeling that everybody was enjoying what they were saying. They were just enjoying it in different ways. For me, for my progression of the different ways of Deadpool, the first time I saw it, I wasn't completely on board with it because I guess maybe the first one held such a high esteem for me. I felt like there was a lot of heart that was explored in there with the relationship between Wade and Vanessa, and them being these messy trash people that found each other. And I really enjoyed that. And then with the second one, at first when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's kind of missing for me. And then the second time I saw it, I was like, oh no, wait, it's there. It just wasn't delivered in the way that I was expecting it. It
Right.
was still delivered. And then along with that, you have fantastic comedy, like holding it up, and with this foundation of action that's also going on with it. So it's actually a very solid movie. I'm glad that I said, it's like a super solid sequel, very rewatchable, which obviously it
Yeah.
is. I've seen it 3 times with 3 different groups of people. And I guess with it, I enjoy how it sets the line for you.
Yeah.
And then it keeps on stepping over it
Yeah.
as you continue in the movie. Obviously not saying any spoilers with it, but you feel like you're going to have one thing. It gives you that thing in a twisty way, and then gives you even more. So I do enjoy that with this movie.
For me, I have a lot of the same thoughts. The first time I watched it, I actually was like, okay, this is really fun, but it doesn't feel like my Deadpool. It feels like a Deadpool. And then the second time, I stopped comparing it to the first movie, and I really loved it. The first time I watched it, I was too busy comparing to the first movie, and the second time I was like, oh, I'm getting a Deadpool movie. What am I doing? And then so the way I've been describing it to people is I know it's the same writers, but metaphorically, it felt like a different creative team, a different set of writers on a different run of Deadpool. It's like when a new volume comes out, like Volume 1, Issue 1, this was Volume 2, Issue 1. Like, it was a different team as far as it felt. And once I accepted that, I loved it. And I think it also depends on your audience in the theater, because the first time I watched it, I felt like people were, like, not as boisterous as I felt, so I felt like that guy. I felt like the guy, like, oh,
no.
like the guy that, like, looks...
We were laughing our butts off.
We were, but every time I
people.
finished the laughing, there was just silence around me. So, like, I felt like me and Markeia were like, yeah! And then, like, everybody's like... And that's never a fun feeling when you feel like... But then the next viewing, I saw it twice in one day. I saw the night screening, and that was much more boisterous. And then I saw it opening night. So, like, everyone that had waited in line, so, like, the diehards. And, like, that was also, if you came up to me that night, that was amazing. So many people were like, you're the Deadpool guy from the internet. And I was like, I am the Deadpool. It was amazing.
Excellent.
Like, so it was, like, my people, and, like, it was so cool to be, like, amongst the diehard Deadpools. So that crowd was obviously, like, the one. So every time I rewatch it, it gets bigger, it gets bolder. You notice jokes you miss. Much like Infinity War, like, you laugh over jokes, and then you rediscover them on multiple viewings. So I really enjoyed it, and it only gets better. I do like the first one more. I will go on record. I think the first one's heart, the Marina Baccarin character, Copycat, and the way they use Vanessa is so important to Wade. And I love that they that's not as integral to the comics. They added that, and that movie felt so... It was a love story. It was our first, like... I love their relationship, and it felt like a full-on Valentine's Day movie. The ads weren't lying, and I love that they made this bond. So the second movie was a great sequel. It just, the, like, beating heart of Deadpool felt like it was slightly out of place, to use movie canon. So
I would say that actually hearing you guys talk about it last week helped me go into it not comparing it to the first
good.
one.
Okay,
So I
that's
think
good.
that's why the first time around, the only time I've seen it so far, I think that's why I enjoyed it a little bit more than maybe the average person.
Good.
Maybe.
Good. A lot of the live chats
yeah.
saying the same, that they liked it because they had the expectation of separating it. So if you're watching this now while we're spoiler free, if you haven't seen it, 1, turn your sound off soon. 2, go into it knowing it's a separate movie. It is bigger, bolder, and uncut, and then you'll appreciate it differently.
That's what she said. Yeah.
Anything else non-spoilers?
No, but I do want to ask you, when did you have the chimichanga? Was it before the first time, before the second time, or before the third time? Did that affect the way you watched it?
It was before the third time, because
Okay.
when I saw it the first 2 times, I knew I was about to do a ton of press, and I was so worried about my skin. And that's the chimichanga reason. So I waited until Deadpool Day with people, and I actually invited a bunch of people that were at the Deadpool screening if they wanted to come with me. So when I went to Salsa and Beer, it ended up being an hour and 45-minute wait, because Salsa and Beer is that good.
They watched, apparently. So they went to go.
They could have left
food.
and saw Deadpool, but it was amazing. I had a steak picado chimichanga, which is a steak potato burrito chimichanga, which is
Not sponsored, guys.
That sounds
Like 7
very
pounds of food.
impressive. Oh my god.
the plate was bigger than my laptop, like rice, beans, and then it was like this size of my arm burrito.
Excellent.
It was fantastic.
Excellent.
So non-spoiler, chimichangas are dope. Are we ready to spoiler up?
Yeah, let's go ahead
All
and
right,
spoiler
let's
it up.
spoiler up.
We're spoilering it up, people.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Thank you,
Spoiler
Anthony.
alert.
Yes.
We are going to 10,000 leagues under the sea.
So just to be clear, the blue means it's still it's spoiler filled.
So
Okay.
the red was not spoiler.
Right.
The blue was.
It's a little
like it.
backwards
I love
today.
that.
It's a little
It's, our
backwards.
Deadpool band.
Usual colors.
Well, Cable is blue, and we're going to
spoiler.
talk about the things
His
involving
eye.
Cable spoilers.
Okay.
Branding.
Yeah.
Okay, so, Markeia, spoilery thoughts.
Yeah. Okay. So with this, I'm gonna start with the one that is the one to me is like the absolute best one. Where with Deadpool, you're like, great, I'm gonna have X4 set up. We're gonna have so many X4 scenes. Like, look at this trailer. We've got Shatterstar, getting people with his swords. We've got Bedlam. He might be using, and, we've got all of this is happening, and then, and then high wind advisory, and they kept on saying it. They kept on saying, hey, there's a high wind advisory. You didn't get it.
We kept thinking it was a joke, but no, it's a plot point.
Until they're out of that airplane, and then they're just twirly whirly, It's like, look at those magnificent MFs. And then you just kill them. You kill all of X-Force. And I was so about it.
Yeah.
I was giggling like I don't even know what. It was amazing to me. And then I loved how Deadpool was peak Deadpool. Like it had just happened. He's like, oh, after all this time, I still can't talk about it. As he steals somebody's moped.
The moped. That's so
moped.
important in the comics.
The moped. He steals the moped to then go after an armored like vehicle.
Yeah.
It was just, this is excellent. That was excellent to me. X-Force.
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 What's some of your favorite spoilery thoughts?
Freaking Domino.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Obviously, yeah, we saw a little bit about X-Force, and I wasn't expecting all the people dying, but I love that Domino, she just has the best of luck, and I didn't really know how they were going to play with that.
Yeah.
And so even just her walking through, and all the cars are flipping around, and I was like, would it be Domino? Yeah, and the whole Vanessa situation at the beginning of the movie, I was welling up, and I was like, wait a second, no, we're gonna do this?
And then the opening credits are all saying your thoughts.
Wait,
Yes!
did they really
just
kill her?
these? I love
What
that.
the F?
Because how do you top the opening credits of the first one? Oh, you make it a joke in
I was like,
Yeah.
wow, you guys are doing great. And
Directed by the guy that killed
one of the two guys.
one of the
that
two
killed
guys
John Wick's
that
dog.
killed John Wick's dog. I was like, oh my god, it's like, yeah, you're not lying.
They are that.
No lies detected.
I love how Deadpool, they don't give a beep. You
At
know what
all.
I mean? Yeah. And that I like that for that reason. So, when you go watch other movies in general, but especially Marvel movies, you kind of have an idea of what you're going to get. So Deadpool to me is just so far left or right, and you're like, whoa, I'm in for the ride. So, the Vanessa part was just, wait a second. Yeah, and just the action sequences, some of them were just like very, very intense, and yeah, I love myself some good action sequences. So they did a good job.
One quick thing though, with like the opening sequence, and you didn't get it, or I didn't get it until my second or third viewing, when in the opening sequence and Deadpool has his like butt to the camera and he's like, oh, and then there's like these graphics of pins that are
which
on
is
it.
foreshadowing later.
Right?
His prison wallet.
Yes, his prison wallet. I hear
Oh
you
my
rummaging in there.
Ew, yeah.
Coy, what are your spoiler thoughts?
So I loved that we have two movies in theaters right now, both starring Josh Brolin, that feature death. This movie turned Marina Baccarin, they turned Vanessa into death. Basically, the character of Death in the comics and Wade have this unrequited love story. That was the character. Nice. And I love that every time he'd go into that dream state, he'd be courting death. And that's a thing I never thought I'd see that's so important in the comics. I love that he courted death, and it was his death. It was his Vanessa. And that was beautiful, and that allegory was amazing. So I was so upset they killed her, and then by, accepting that she was gone, and once I was like, oh, they're turning her into death. This is brilliant. I also love that this was the best X-Men movie we've had. I love Days of Future Past. I love First Class. But to me, this was a full-blown X-Men movie. There were that shot, by the way, of the door. I love that they covered 2 movies worth of plot holes with 7 frames. I love that they were like, why aren't they there? They don't want to deal with Deadpool's crap.
So like, no, who does?
What
Who
a
does,
beautiful
honestly?
shot. Cameo plus plot contrivance, brilliant. And I also love that the movie, the scope escalated while still feeling on brand. All the jokes felt like still Deadpool jokes. Cable felt
Yes.
like he belonged in Deadpool's universe. The X-Force and them dying felt like that fit in Deadpool's world. So everything that this movie did got me more excited for X-Force because I know they can now build a universe that feels stable. It doesn't feel like we had a dick joke one movie and then the next movie they're like, how do we, and they recycled. They didn't. It just expanded. So it made me excited for the world building.
Nice. I very much enjoyed how they preserved and were able to show the relationship that Domino and Deadpool have in the comics.
Yeah.
Where it's like it's familial between the two of them, and then even like that lighthearted banter. I mean, Deadpool obviously innuendo banter,
Yeah.
out the wazoo. But between
He's going
him
in the back. He's inside you. Accidental innuendo.
do you hear yourself right now? You hear yourself, right?
And it's platonic. They're like a brother
exactly.
sister. Yeah, you're right.
And that's exactly how it is in the comics, and they were able to do that. And then I wonder if that was part and parcel with some of the reshoots. Like, for instance, when you have Deadpool when he is trying to serenade Colossus into the final fight, and then he's going back to the taxi, and Deadpool's just there in the window, all smiles, and she'll be like, "You're marvelous," and it's like, yes, that's how they are in the comics. That is perfect.
And she was so like effortless. I love like the shot of her like falling into the panda. And the panda, by the way,
Oh my gosh.
a great nod to her visual in the comics because the black eye
Because
and
of
white.
the
you get
the
that?
vitiligo.
Well, I got it
Yeah.
now.
Isn't that great? Like she literally
Yeah.
falls into a visual representation of her comic
herself.
Beautiful metaphor.
Excellent.
And I also love that he listed a series of Uncanny X-Men comics that feature Juggernaut on the cover.
Yes.
He literally, all three of those comics are iconic Juggernaut cover comics that he's yelling at the Juggernaut. Like, how do we
Yes.
get this lucky?
That was epic fanboy.
Oh, yeah. I'm that guy. Like, yelling, like, I loved you in blah, blah, blah. Deadpool's doing it for me, but it's amazing.
And the credits.
Oh, God.
It said Juggernaut voiced as himself.
Do you know who really voiced him?
No.
Ryan Reynolds.
What?
Juggernaut was Ryan Reynolds.
Nice.
Isn't that amazing?
I
That
enjoy
is
this.
so cool.
I enjoy this so
This
much.
also had more Easter eggs that people don't realize unless you're a really, really, like, some obscure characters from, like, Cable and Deadpool number 17 showed up. And I'm actually going to drop a video, because I wanted to do it in the show, but there's so much weird stuff. I'm going to do another video that is just Easter eggs, because you can go on the internet and read all the pop culture Easter eggs, but there's, like, literally characters that appear in 4 frames in one comic that are parts in this movie. And that means they really, like, invested. And when he calls and he's like, hey, this is Gail. I just want to say the shiny suit really brings out the child, like, blah, blah.
The sex trafficker
Sex
on your
trafficker.
eyes.
That's referencing Gail Simone, the person that invented the red Vespa and brilliant comic writer of Deadpool. Gail.
Excellent.
Dang.
Like,
I love it.
That's
deep cut.
really good
I
writing.
Gail Simone's
love
brilliant.
Gail Simone's work. I mean, holy crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that they would have her for, well, more things, all the
Sure,
things.
X-Force things.
I know.
But I love
More
that she got a
X-Force
name
things.
drop, a literal name drop
Exactly.
in the movie. Like, how brilliant is that?
Nice.
I liked also the interaction between Cable and Deadpool. Like the fighting, and then at the end when Deadpool's kind of dying and then he dies and then he doesn't, all of that.
Yeah.
That was really cool to watch. And I think that was one of the parts because I didn't know where it was going to go, if they were really going to make him die,
Yeah.
especially because of Vanessa. So then when he dies and Cable's just looking over there and then the teddy bear is just like back to life and everything.
That line about the teddy bear, like, that was such a painful moment turned into a joke when he comes up and he's like, why you, this crazy guy's a dirty hobo teddy bear.
Hobo bear.
That's the blood of my child. And like Deadpool, like, I have a gluten sensitivity.
Yeah.
Like, that was so Deadpool, and
Oh
also
my
like
gosh.
that's the thing is people think Deadpool's just a quip machine. That pregnant pause was more Deadpool than the joke. It was like, I'm insecure. Here's a joke. Can we rewind that? Like, that's beautiful, and that's life.
And then they actually end up being able to rewind
Yeah.
that. Yeah. And I love that he said his daughter's name was Hope.
Yes.
You know, I was trying to, and I only really noticed it in the third screening. But when he's doing the time thing at the end, there's lettering on the watch, and it says Cable, and then it says something else. And I couldn't catch it. I think it said Bucklers or something like that. But it said, in my head, I was like, does that say Cable Summers?
It could.
Like Nathan Cable Summers. But it definitely said Cable, and then it said something else behind that. If anybody on the internet can find that, I actually don't expect to find that until like
Yeah, like
digital comes
either
out.
viewing 5 or 6 or a Blu-ray where I can go, And that's gonna be this is one of those movies where you can like frame by frame too, because there are so many like I'm pretty sure that was Wild Child in the prison. They kept cutting to that blonde guy with the long hair that looked really feral. I think that was Wild Child. Sabretooth's like minion guy, and I guarantee there's tons of like if you pause in that prison, that looked like an Easter egg city.
I was looking for other X-Force members. I really wanted to see like Feral in there, kind of thing, because I love the dynamic that she brings to it. I was thinking like a bunch of one guy in a cell. He wouldn't be able to because of the mutant suppressing.
Touche.
Yeah, so he would have been like
one guy. Maybe
most
he
normal
was
person,
in there,
or he's in the cell by himself. Or
yeah.
Well, no, I'm thinking about all the characters that if you've never read Deadpool or know about X-Force, it's like, wow, they could really do so much.
Yeah.
And it could be fun for anyone to be able to just go frame by frame.
Yeah.
See, okay, so that looks like they could belong to something. That was probably put there on purpose. I love movies that do that.
They really invest in every detail.
Yeah.
We're going to probably do about like 5 more minutes of spoilers. So if the live chat, if you guys have any questions or if anything, like you just had a great point, like there are things you might not know. So if you want to ask in the next few minutes, now's the time.
Yeah.
Also,
time.
real quick, I wanted to talk about the 2 little cameos I really love.
Oh
Technically 3 cameos I really loved. First off, I think the one that takes it the most is the Vanisher.
One of the best cameos ever.
Wasn't that amazing?
Yes.
Oh my god, I love that.
We got Brad
part.
Pitt. We got Brad Pitt as canon.
The last thing they shot. That was the last thing they shot. Brad Pitt,
So
fun fact about that cameo, Anthony, sorry to interrupt. Brad Pitt the director was Brad Pitt's stunt double and stunt coordinator in a bunch of movies. They became friends. That was the last thing they shot on the Fox lot, and Brad Pitt did it for scale and a coffee, but the coffee had to be hand-delivered by Ryan Reynolds.
Oh,
That's
Favorite story.
excellent.
Thought you needed to know that. It made me real happy.
Excellent.
That's so good. And then the other 2 was so the Rednecks played by Matt Damon and Alan Tudyk.
yeah.
That was fantastic.
Did you see how Matt Damon was credited?
No, how was he credited?
Matt Damon wasn't credited as Matt Damon. He was credited as his name as the alias in The Talented Mr. Ripley.
Oh, wow.
So not only was Matt Damon
Serious?
incognito,
Okay.
he was meta incognito. So they broke the fourth wall by referencing a reference to a character hiding as a character in another movie.
Yeah, it was something else. That conversation was just like, oh, baby wipes. Okay, yeah,
And then the dry wipe and the blow dryer, if you bring it home. That was Matt Damon.
Yep.
Matt Damon's got a regimen. I respect it.
Yep.
I'm
Oh
gonna try
my
it.
gosh.
Yeah.
Especially after some chimichangas, you got to take some self-care.
Well, the baby wipes reminded me of the little legs.
Oh, the baby scene? The basic instinct moment?
Oh my god, that was
His basic instinct.
that was so uncomfortably funny.
I loved it
Yeah.
so much.
I really do. It's like, look at that little guy. There he goes. There he goes. There he goes. He's doing
He's really
it.
doing
He's
it.
When
really
he
doing it.
stands up, it was
Yeah.
and some people were saying it went on a little too long, and I was like,
That's
no,
the
it
humor.
didn't.
That's
No.
the joke is how, like,
He's like, I have
loved
a
it.
proposition for you. Okay, who wants to say it first?
you might be wondering why I didn't invite you here. I also loved the, this is very, I'm going to get all sorts of SJW, blah, blah. I loved how fluid sexuality was in this movie. I really loved Yukio's relationship. I loved the actual concern of Deadpool sleeping with Colossus that Vanessa had.
Yes.
I loved, like,
That's a real
which
concern.
is legit, it might be
Totally.
a thing.
Yeah.
And I love that the movie didn't make it an issue. The movie didn't go like, look at that lesbian couple. It went like, you guys are a cute couple. Didn't make a thing of it. And I really respect that. Like, it took us to get Deadpool to have a very openly homosexual character in a mainstream superhero movie. It took us a character that's literally like, I'm gonna tell every joke that's not appropriate. Look what else I did. Like, the movie had to break that barrier, and I love that this movie didn't. It's always concerning when you have a character that's so crass that they'll go too far. And this movie, I feel like, didn't with love, and I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, I feel like it's a bit frustrating when something comes out or a release, and then after the fact, and then it'd be like, oh, by the way, this particular character was this part of the sexual
Dumbledore's
spectrum.
gay. We never said it, but trust us. Oh, we're gonna make a
Yeah.
prequel. He won't be gay there either, but trust us.
It's
Come
like
on.
It's like that's weird. It's not enough. It's like Valkyrie's bisexuality. It's like I feel like it would have brought even more to that scene when you realize why that Valkyrie is specifically why that Valkyrie is launching herself in front of Valkyrie.
Yeah, the love is love.
Yeah, or was it Scrapper 249?
Yeah.
Scrapper 1249. Chat room, tell me which Scrapper it is. I think it's Scrapper 249. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why it's, that's so taboo. We shouldn't put that, story in there. We shouldn't have this person have that aspect of their life in it. So I did enjoy where, yeah, like you said, it was a very real concern for Vanessa. She's like, hey, so, you know, Colossus is your best friend. You might not be his best friend, but...
He's a sensitive artist, you know?
There you go.
I really liked that it was a movie that took chances, and it also... I love that it kept referencing both Stewart and McAvoy, like the Stewart helmet and then McAvoy physically being in the room. I love that it, like... And we haven't even talked about the best post-credit scene of all time.
Oh,
Cleaning up the timelines.
they went there.
Oh my God, was that brilliant.
They did the thing. How did you feel about it, Amy?
I freaking loved it. I was waiting for more and more, and I was like, yeah, keep going. And yeah, it was funny. And I think they kicked it off wonderfully. You know, they kicked off the movie wonderfully, and then they ended it amazingly. Like, yes. Thank you.
I love that we finally got Wolverine, kind of.
Oh, yeah.
Like, a still of Wolverine from that movie. Like, we got him.
Well, that and on Hero Flakes.
Oh, yes.
Right.
And on the doll in the opening.
Oh man!
Like that-
everybody always
Every audience
every
lost their
audience was
shit.
all about it for that first one. And thank you, Beeping Goat 22 Scrapper 142.
142.
And just fun fact, look at the Twitter account Tessa's Goats.
Yes.
Since they're Beeping Goat 22.
So while we do we have any other spoiler thoughts? I mean, this movie I think is definitely worth revisiting. We've seen it multiple times. You're planning to see it again.
Yeah, of course.
It's very funny and the jokes go over each other a lot. Aunt Anthony, what do you think? Yeah. I think Vanessa comes back. I think.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. That no. I feel like I read somewhere that all of that was done as canon. I feel like I read that somewhere. Chat room, please feel free. And then thank you also. It's possible that Scrapper 142 is based on the book number for Valkyrie's first appearance. Langley M. Neely.
Oh, that's dope, Langley.
Toss that out there. I would love for that to be for the, you know, they pay attention to things like this, so I have no reason to believe that that's not true.
Oh, oops, sorry, go ahead. Yes. But yeah, I mean, I would say, yeah, Deadpool is a character that can be like, we can have 2 hours and have it negated because why? But we got Cable. It did evolve the story, but
Right.
I think what the evolution of the story is getting to is that like the moment for me that I was like, oh, I'm watching a Cable Deadpool movie was when he picked up the brick and like Cable's shooting and he's got a brick and he's just taking people out. So I was like, oh, it's Lethal Weapon. Like to me, Cable and Deadpool are Riggs and Murtaugh. Like
yes.
one is too old for this stuff and one is a merc on the edge.
Yes.
So when that
yes.
happened, I was like, oh, it's Lethal Weapon 17. And like that to me was the moment where I was like, oh, this is what Cable and Deadpool movie could be. So even if they retroactively negate the rest of the movie, that does give us Cable Deadpool.
I think they're going to keep it.
I think they're going to
I
keep
think
it.
they're going to keep it all because I want Vanessa to be alive. I want X-Force. I want X-Force.
Although
Yeah.
I do like the idea of her becoming Lady Death, because that would make
Isn't that beautiful?
Well,
perfect
she already
sense.
has
Yeah.
become it.
Yeah, that's
she
the
was
arc.
it.
Yeah.
They had
Yeah.
that part of the story. I'd love to see more played with that character type. But I also, and thank you, and Mike Merchant, who's keen eye, I also love, did you notice the place was called the Essex House?
Yes.
Mr. Sinister?
Oh my God! How did I not
Right?
just think of that?
Yeah, Mr. Sinister.
Of course.
So
Of
much
course.
for world building.
And of
Take
course-
note, Bryan Singer's X-Men series. This is how you build worlds.
Yeah, and of course you're going to experiment on those kids. They
course.
were experimenting on those
That's
kids.
how
It
you
makes
get-
complete sense.
How do you find the perfect genetic code? You
Oh.
have that kind of halfway house for mutants.
And there you go.
Essex
And
House.
who's going to listen to abuse mutant kids?
Exactly.
Nobody except for Deadpool.
I love that that's the character. I really love that Ryan Reynolds found the heart in this character. So many people don't know that. Like, that's
Yeah.
the point. So,
Hey, 4 to 5 moments.
4 to 5 moments. That's all
4
it
to 5
takes.
moments.
4 to 5 movies.
Yeah.
X-Force. Anything else before we head into other territory?
Go watch it.
Go watch it.
Go watch it.
Now,
All right,
the-
spoiler off.
Spoiler's over.
Spoiler is over.
Now, the reason... Back to Red.
Welcome back if you were muted.
Spoiler free. The reason today's show is early and the reason the schedules are
Yeah.
stuff is we were going to have a special guest. He got very busy. I will still not announce his name, but I will announce the name that rhymes with his name, and that name is Mob Guyeld. And Mob Guyeld could not make it, but when we have him on, we will be talking spoilers again. So between now and then, if you want to tweet any of us, questions, thoughts, spoilery things when we get Mop Guy Yelled schedule sorted. We'll talk more spoilers.
Indeed. And perhaps there will be other people that we would also have on this show that we
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
They might shatter things.
Yes, they might.
Who
They
knows?
might indeed.
So-
So we'll see if that ends up working out.
They might be large, tall,
Yes. Yes. Might be gargantuan.
thick-skinned, perhaps.
Yes, gargantuan and thick-skinned.
So we're going to talk box office briefly, but first I want to be slightly narcissistic and selfish, and enjoy shellfish, and show you a minute montage that these guys actually haven't seen that I did yesterday that I'm very proud of. As you guys know, Deadpool's my boy, and this is literally only a minute, but it's freaking cool. And I accidentally didn't have time to change out of this, so I went and saw Solo like this, and that was a choice. So check out this insanity from yesterday. First, I lost my eyebrows, then I got a Stanley mustache. Like, what was crazy to me is that looks like a corner on my face. That's just paint, and it looks like a 3D out prosthetic.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, and the artist is...
Jody Steele, very good friend of mine, friend of the show. Jody Steele is incredible at this. I've known her since before she started doing all this stuff, so it's pretty cool.
It's happening.
Right? It
And,
just
like-
escalates.
It's weird. Like the makeup itself has like its own like depth and like texture to
Right,
it.
I look like, yeah, that actually feels, isn't that
Dude.
insane?
I
Yeah.
love this so much. I love the duct tape that she
Right?
chose to
Like
put on the
that's
forehead.
from the
That
post-rip.
is perfect.
How much fun was that?
That was,
for
and
you?
then walking
Like,
around like that, it was like, look at the...
Oh my.
Wait, why did she decide to do a mustache? Oh, because you have a
I
mustache.
have a mustache.
There we go.
Why does Deadpool have a mustache? Oh, Coy has a mustache. I figured continuity with all the shows I'm doing, it'd be weird if I suddenly didn't have a mustache. But also got to use the weirdest thing that I have, which is nerve damage in this eye. So we painted it,
okay.
and I can just close this eye like a shutter, so I got to have the Deadpool eye and the regular eye.
Holy moly.
Fun fact.
Interesting.
Do it again. Do it again.
Scars can turn into positivity, guys. Negatives can be good. When
you
you get a
go.
boxing accident and lose control of your eyelid, you can do weird videos.
Yeah, because we are all fully fledged individuals, with our huge, life stories
Flaws
and
make the
histories,
world go round.
and that brings it into everything. Yeah, so
I can't even wink, so that's admirable.
So we... Shutter. It's like a shutter. When I'm too drunk or tired, just closes.
I try to wink and my mouth opens like. It's
yours
just
is
one of those
branded.
things. It's just like
By the way.
That's it.
Full lean in. So Deadpool made buku bucks. The only R-rated character that Deadpool couldn't take out was himself. He does like to beat himself, but he could not beat himself. Now, Deadpool 2 made a glorious $125 million, which is a lot of money for an R-rated movie, especially one opening after Infinity War, before Solo. So that means it made $300 million worldwide with the 176 it made international, which means as of opening weekend plus the $700 million Deadpool 1 made, this is a $1 billion franchise.
What?
In one weekend.
Yeah.
Billion! Which means we're getting more. Which means we're definitely getting more because we make up $1 billion. So it took out it, which is incredible. It almost took itself out. It made like a little over. It made 133, I believe. Deadpool 1. But this is now going to be going up against Infinity War again and Solo. So I'm hoping it has legs. So if you haven't seen it or haven't seen it 7 times, perhaps go through again. Get Deadpool alive. So it did really well, and I think it's all but greenlit for the next one because of how well that did. I am proud of these numbers. What do you guys think about the box office?
Yeah, I think it makes complete sense. I love how strong of a showing that it has. Like I said, rewatchability is really great with different groups of friends, especially like friends that maybe it's like, like we're friends, but we're more like acquaintance friends. Like I went with a work friend, yesterday, and it was like, oh yeah, we have a lot of fun on our RPG together. Like, let's go see a movie. We let's go see Deadpool, and we did. And then afterwards, it's just like, oh my god, let's talk about all the Deadpool things. So it's really good. It's a bonder.
And it's a conversation.
It's a Bonder movie.
It's a conversation.
Yeah, and it's a little bit dirty in the fun way. So
And
it's all good.
Langley, I agree. People are like, oh, it didn't do as well as the first one. It's a failure. No.
Seriously?
It opened after that, and it's one of the top 3 grossing R-rated movies in the opening weekend of all time. That is in no way a failure. Internet / people that Langley. Yell at them, Langley. Yell at them. Also, I really like that it is a movie that will do well on video. It is a movie that did well enough like opening. I think we're in for a lot of Deadpool in the future. I had another Deadpool thought, but it lost me. So, Spider-Man.
Yes. Ooh, this news
When
is
this
just.
news-
Oh, do you remember like maybe like a year plus, 2 years maybe
A long
ago
time
when
ago.
we were a long time ago we were talking about like, oh, who would we want to see like show up in the Spider-Man verse? And it's like Mysterio.
Yeah. And
Obviously.
not just Mysterio, the number one name, all but confirmed,
Oh my God.
is the guy I've been wanting to play Spider-Man, Jake Gyllenhaal. Now, Jake Gyllenhaal, to me, he was almost Spider-Man in Spider-Man 2 when Tobey Maguire was like, my back hurts, I hurt it really bad, I don't know if I can be Spider-Man, very understandable, and then asked for too much money. But Jake Gyllenhaal is a brilliant actor. He's one of like the guys I've wanted for so many different roles. He's got darkness, he's got lightness, he's got range. Like if he brings the energy of Oakjaw and the darkness of Nightcrawler plus the intensity of Prisoners, he could be anyone. So Mysterio, it's a hard role. He's got a fishbowl on his head. So I want someone like, you know what I mean?
I mean, it kind of depends on what route they're going to go with Mysterio.
Yeah.
I mean, to do a little backstory of
Yes,
what I know.
you said fishbowl, and I was like, okay, sure.
But yeah, a little bit backstory of Mysterio. I mean, he's one of those villains that I particularly really enjoy. If you ever saw, oh God, what was that? Joss Whedon short film Hammer.
Oh wait, I know this one. Wait,
Yeah,
Doctor Horrible.
There you go.
Doctor Horrible
Sing
singing
along.
along.
Yeah.
Yes.
Doctor Horrible to me is Mysterio. Like that is
Yeah, I can
that
see that.
particular
Okay.
character, which is why I always saw that particular actor playing Mysterio, because in my movie you would have like this fumbling, but he's an evil villain. He's a villain. So doing that. But when you have a I can't say his name right. Jake Gyllenhaal or Jake Gyllenhaal. Gyllenhaal. When you have Jake Gyllenhaal, you can go into the dark corners with like Mysterio, but still have him be a screw up. Another like little backstory thing. He is Mysterio is in Spider-Man games. I believe the one that I saw him in was someone that was on GameCube.
There was an Activision game on PS1 and
Activision.
GameCube.
Okay, because
and
I've
played that
I've
game.
owned and played them
Yep.
all. I'd have to go through my console
Rolodex.
box. Yeah, my console box
Oh,
that's under
wow.
my bed. But it's just so that you know, with Mysterio, they have it where it's, I think it's like in an abandoned opera house or something, and you're a Spider-Man. You're about to fight Mysterio, and then as he's standing there, he has like 4 life bars that like fill up, and 4 big boss battles, 4 life bars is like, oh God, this is insane.
Yeah.
You know, let me pause this, get some Mountain Dew, some Doritos, because this is going to take forever. So then you go after Mysterio. He like charges up to get you. You hit him once, and then all of the life bars go right out.
So you're like, it's this big boss battle, but
Yeah.
he's that kind of villain sometimes. There was also the time when he like was the size of 4 houses, and he was like this giant figure in the middle of the thing, and you assume, but it's all an illusion. He's Mysterio. So
Yeah.
like it's depending how they play him.
Mysterio. Yeah,
In
but
the comics, he's a stunt guy. He's a stunt guy and illusionist, and he basically uses his like wire work plus illusion skills plus CGI skills to trick people, so you don't know what reality is. And a lot of times he's in a control room, or he's
Exactly.
like one of 20 of him, or it's really cool.
That
Yeah,
reminds
and-
me of like Legion and having the Reality Stone.
It could totally work that way.
Nice.
That's
and then Coy, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I feel like it was Mysterio was the one that with Old Man Logan was the one that tricked.
He was part of it.
Yeah,
was
that
a big
tricked
part.
Logan into taking out the entire school,
yeah.
like the entire Professor Xavier school.
So he made Logan think that they were all like a bunch of villains attacking him, like
And then-
Sabretooth and
and
Omega
that was
Red, and he's
Mysterio.
just stabbing children to death.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a dark. It can go dark.
it can go
which is
super dark, which is why this is a fantastic actor.
because you can, and I love that this casting doesn't give us what the answer is. Like it could go really dark, like Nightcrawler, could go really crazy, like Oakja, could go Bubble Boy. We don't
Yeah.
know. Also,
I want a little Bubble Boy
I'm
now.
just saying.
I need some Bubble Boy.
that-
Bubble Boy.
He's gonna be Bubble Boy. He'll be Bubble Boy again, just as Mysterio at the fishbowl.
There you go.
But I love, and also like Donnie Darko, it showed like that dark, depressing darkness. Like you can see the
Yeah.
angst. So I think he's a fantastic actor. And I also think that, and someone in the live chat, I agree. If you can make the Vulture costume work, you can make Mysterio's costume work.
Thank you.
'Cause that frickin-
I live for those cloud boots. Those claw
Yeah.
boots.
And that
Those are
fur
good.
making it work, like that
They
was
did.
beautiful. So this is one of my favorite casting in a while. I'm a big fan of both the character and how the character can be visually represented in the movie. Is the scope is huge. You can make this like Inception meets Interstellar. Like the visuals can be insane.
Yeah. I hope
Yeah.
this is the thing. I hope this is the do.
I kept saying interception in my brain, and that's not a movie.
How about
Should be.
interjections?
Interjections with Mysterio.
They show excitement, our emotion.
Exclamation point. So I'm very excited about it. It's not official, but Hollywood Reporter is reporting on it. That's all but official. In final talks means good things. The thing I was going to say about Deadpool that I forgot came back to me. There's an insane Easter egg that actually makes fun of them keeping TJ Miller. Do you remember how we talked about TJ Miller being in the movie after the bomb threat, which was crazy?
Right.
So TJ Miller
he's the one that plays a weasel.
Weasel.
Yeah.
So apparently not always the best person. I don't know details. I don't know the guy. I don't like to speak ill of people I don't know.
Exactly.
But ill has been spoken of him, not by me. Apparently there's a line in the news ticker when she's like, I'm Irene Merriweather, which by the way is a character in Cable and Deadpool who loves Cable, and they put her in the movie, which I love. And on the news ticker on the bottom it says, Christopher Plummer turns down role in Deadpool 2.
Oh my lord.
Meaning they're referencing Kevin Spacey getting replaced by
go.
Christopher Plummer, which in turn is referencing Christopher Plummer replacing their own problem with Weasel.
Excellent.
Brilliant.
Excellent.
That's how you get some marketing.
There you go.
Brilliant job, Deadpool 2.
Yes.
We're going to be talking about Easter eggs for the next 17 years. Hope you like the show. So, speaking of Vulture and his beautiful suit, he's coming back.
Yes.
Did you guys like Vulture in the first one?
Of course. Of course. I mean, because you kind of understood. You got it. He could be your dad, because dads are super old school. They're just trying to provide, and I'm relating here. I'm projecting my own stuff on there. And it's like, and then dad found a way to make it work after it was taken away from him.
Yeah.
By damage control and Tony Stark and everything.
All
It's just
canon. I love that
it's
they're
all
just like...
canon.
Michael Keaton saying world-building Spider-Man terms in such a laissez-faire way was shocking for my brain. I'm like, Batman grew up, and now he's saying damage control. What's going on? He's holding Chitauri tech? What is this? The Tinkerer's over there? The Shocker's over there? I can't hang!
One of my favorite scenes ever in films is that moment between Michael Keaton and Tom Holland in the car.
Oh, the
where
car scene.
Yeah, the car scene.
Oh my gosh. Like, I want that again. To know that he's going to come back, I'm like...
And that old Jag there in his
insanely
canon. He drives that Jag in the comics, in the Ditko comics. They even got the car right.
Nothing is wasted, people.
Not
Nothing.
for us.
No.
Not for people that pay attention.
Yeah. Nope.
So keep doing it, Marvel. We notice. So I love that he's coming back. I love that they didn't do Marvel had a villain problem for a bit. We can admit.
Yeah.
I love they didn't kill him. I love that he's coming back.
they got over it,
They
yeah.
can world build by keeping good villains.
Yeah, they got
And
it.
the scene in the warehouse when he basically does the Green Goblin thing and he uses his that scene of him overpowering Spider-Man with his words.
Yes.
If he can do that in movie 1, having just met him, I can't wait to see that character grow. So I'm excited he's coming back. And if he plays
Super
Mysterio, dope. Also, Scorpion probably coming back if he is. He should. He just got Scorpioned.
Just did.
Let him get back in the game.
There we go.
So in the world of Marvel and great villains, Infinity War. Everything is whispered like X-Force.
X-Force.
We have the official release date for Infinity War, along with a beautiful promo image of how bold and scopy that movie is. Just look at that. The movie will be coming out on digital on July 31st, and on DVD and on 4K in August 14th, which means it might have just left theaters by the time you get it in your greedy little hands, because that movie is still making money. It is still consistently in the top 5. It is on its way to $2 billion, which is what I think it'll make. I think it'll be one of the rare $2 billion club movies. And I really think that the digital sales are going to go crazy because just in time for the next thing, Ant-Man and the Wasp, the movie comes out on digital, which is brilliant. Because the Ant-Man and the Wasp comes out in July, so you will have just seen that, and then you can go buy this movie and follow up again. It'll be like Black Panther. We can walk in one theater to another.
There you go.
Marvel, keep killing it.
Yeah, I was actually talking to somebody with that because they waited so long to see like Black Panther that they that was the last 3 movies that they saw: Black Panther, Infinity War, and then Deadpool.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
I was like, wow.
It's something like 19 of the weeks out of like 21 weeks have been superhero number 1s in the box office. It's like, I don't remember the exact numbers, so don't quote me, but it is a jarring more than 80% figure that superhero movies just run in the game. So they also have news about Infinity War saying that someone's death was fought against for quite some time because that certain character had just made $1 billion. T'Challa was a death that everyone fought against executive-wise, but that shows how much impact it had because there were people like, no. It also shows the finality of this. It could be a bigger thing than we thought. He's coming back. but it is a bigger thing.
He's okay. So back when Chadwick Boseman signed on for Marvel, he signed on for a 5-picture deal. And with that's Civil War, that's Black Panther, Infinity War. So we have 2 more. So we're at least going to get Black Panther 2 and 3.
Unless he's in the Panther realm, we just go visit him. When Shuri becomes Black Panther and has to go see her forefathers when T'Challa's hanging out.
Why are you trying to kill him? Why are you trying to kill him for real?
I'm just saying.
Why are you trying to put him in the astral
what
plane?
if?
He is not in the necropolis.
That
Coy.
is such a good phrase.
How dare
Why are you
you?
trying to put me in the astral plane, bro? What are you
Why are you trying to put me in
doing?
the astral plane, bro?
What do you think this is?
I need you to be dude sis, not dude bro right now.
Don't
bro.
Negasonic me. Come on. Keep me out of Necropolis. Don't you do it.
Yeah, no, I'm so excited about what they can possibly do with this, with those other 2 movies. And that's not even considering the scope of what could happen with, either Comcast or Fox or Marvel or whatever. That's not even putting that into it. It's just about everything else. And for those that haven't had a chance to read, or are you put off reading Infinity War? Well, actually, it's Infinity Gauntlet is actually what Infinity War the movie is based on. But if you put off reading Infinity Gauntlet, Black Panther doesn't make it into the conflict anyway. The snap happens near the beginning, and Black Panther is one of the halves of the universe that disappears. So having him in the movie was great, and then him disappearing in Okoye's arms.
Oh my gosh.
Slaughtered me.
So Nate Moore, the development and production executive at Marvel, big job. That's a lot of commas. Said, I knew pretty well what they were talking about and personally urged them to reconsider. He said earlier this month, but the storytelling made sense. So I love that we got to see a little bit more of Wakanda in that film, and I hope to see how they're going to resolve that. We were very cued into the storyline of the Panther from his origin in Civil War. Anthony Russo said the role that Panther and Wakanda played in this movie was sort of a bedrock of that movie, a bedrock of the MCU. I think Black Panther could have done half the business that it did and still would have been a valid creative choice. So they knew how important he was even before it made all the money. Obviously, they knew he was going to dust before the movie made all that money. So I love the reverence they treat T'Challa with.
And just a quick aside, Aunt Manthony. Hey, we just got our Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. minute finale from The Voice of Doom. So if you want to check your email, it is in there.
I'll get on that.
So.
Thank you.
We're almost to that section. Perfect timing. Now, this is a story specifically for Markeia. It is not video games, but it is WWE's Titus O'Neil. Is it Titus or Titus?
Titus.
Titus, I got it right.
I am A-okay with us having a WWE and Marvel section. I'm going to say that.
I'm just pitching it right to you.
Okay.
What do you
I love
think?
that.
To explain who this person is, educate me.
Okay. For those that aren't into wrestling, Titus O'Neil, he is he's a wrestler in WWE. He's been a part of a number of, I guess you can call them factions. He was part of Primetime Players before, where it was just like, okay,
This could be an hour.
okay, wrestling is a heck of a drug.
Yeah. Whole thing.
So where he is right now, he's part of Titus Worldwide, and he's got a particular brand of being Titus. He's kind of a goof, but he's a very tall, muscular goof. So there's that. It's interesting that since we're having more WWE people, like not just MCU, just movies in general. You have The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, who cannot do wrong. I still need to watch the Tooth Fairy movie, but I will watch it eventually.
John Cena's new movie is incredible. I love it.
There you go. Yeah,
Sex comedy.
Blockers.
Yeah, Blockers was so funny.
I enjoyed that. And then, of course, you have Batista as Drax. So for Titus saying specifically, it's a pretty long tweet, but basically he's saying, hey, Batista, I'll be seeing you soon. So, just saying, be blessed, man.
Oh, yeah.
I'm also blessed and might be hanging around anything with you. And it's like, with this, I'm okay with this because I'm not the hugest fan of Titus ever. Just not of the man, obviously, but like of the persona. But I do really enjoy the Titus brand kind of a thing. I feel like they've really brought that around. He has like a you know what? Yeah. I absolutely adore this. Aunt Manthony just put up a picture of Tony Stark and a bunch of dollar bill y'all
That's
just
how it works.
flowing in the wind. And he's, yes, I will take that. That is Titus brand. So have him.
Charles Lee suggests him for Tombstone, and I love that idea.
Oh, that is interesting.
Yeah.
I like that. With him, I'm not sure of the acting chops with him. I haven't seen him in anything acting wise, just like him, throwing his weight around the ring, when it comes to WWE. But I feel like that could be a really nice, pop for fans like me, and then maybe for Marvel people an intro into more of the things with wrestling, because I just want everything to become this like gluttonous fandom.
One big Marvel world.
So we can just all talk about everything anywhere.
So it's nothing official by any means, but it's very exciting. He's also saying how much he looks like a Marvel character, which is Guardians maybe, but we don't know anything yet. And speaking of the world of one giant gelatinous mess of glory and pop culture, 31% of all domestic box office to date is Marvel movies. 1/3 of everything, and it's May, is a Marvel movie. So I just want to point out Black Panther, Infinity War, and now Deadpool. That's 31%, and worldwide, the 3 titles make up 57% of the top 10 Hollywood titles. That is an accurate image. That's insane, and we still haven't gotten Ant-Man and the Wasp, Venom, or on the DC side, Aquaman. So by year's end, especially with Aquaman, we will have so much of the revenue from the year be from comic book movies. That's crazy. Like Ant-Man and the Wasp, I think will do very well. It's not going to do Deadpool or Infinity War numbers. I think Venom will do very well, not either of those numbers. And then I think Aquaman is going to be a lot of people like, oh, after Wonder Woman, let's see what they got. So I think that's going to do gangbusters, especially Christmas. So by year's end, so much superhero money, some Tony Stark money flowing. So it's not fully news, and I love box office tracking. So 31%. Keep that in mind. That's insane. Every dollar you have in the bank, imagine if 1/3 of that was from one person, how much you'd love them. So love them.
So
More money. Right?
For those friends that sneer at Marvel movies,
Yeah.
it's just like, no, it's like this, like 31%.
Come on.
Yeah.
NBD, 31%. Well, I think
21K, 7 of that is Marvel's.
it's a great time in the great world that we live in to be a nerd.
Yes.
Yes,
I
most definitely.
appreciate and love it.
That is a fact.
And you know where you can go if you're a nerd? You can go to the Seattle Museum, which we have briefly talked about, but I just wanted to give it some love because it is open until January. So if you're in Seattle, or if you have a plane, you probably have more than $21,000. But use that plane to go to Seattle. And there is a 10,000 square foot exhibit that is the Museum of Pop Culture, and they have over 300 of Marvel movie and comic items. We have a whole rundown on it. We'll tweet about it. There's an arc reactor. There's Loki's helmet. There's a battered shield. It's dope, dope, dope. Personally, having gone to the Infinity War premiere, seeing the costumes changed my life. I was way more excited, and I love the cast of Avengers, obviously. I was more excited about the stuff. Like, there were a bunch of Chris's over there, but there was stuff over here. So go to Seattle and check it out. It's really cool. Now we're getting into TV talk.
Yeah, TV talk.
With TV talk, we have a certain... Oh, there it is. So as we warm up into our jingle, we have 3 stories. We have to go through them quickly. We're going to give the most love to a bearded gentleman you know and love. And that man is doing news.
We're talking TV
To you.
That's it, guys. Marvellites, that's the end of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 5, and a hell of a finale it was to finish it off. We got an epic Graviton versus Quake fight. We know where the budget went now. And one week we got Graviton versus Quake and Deadpool spoilers. Juggernaut versus Colossus. 2 epic battles. What is this comic book world that we're living in? I thought the finale was a great send-off for Agent Coulson. This was a great bookend for his character over the past 5 years. If the show had to end here, which they thought it might, it would have been a great way for this show to have just been his story. And really, that's what these 5 seasons are. Next season, I almost want them to just call it S.H.I.E.L.D. Secret Warriors, because I'm looking forward to it. If you're looking for timeline clarification on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., this would have happened just before the snap, since Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did not do the thing. We didn't lose half our team, but I think that when the show comes back, summer 2019, which is just after Avengers 4/Infinity War Part 2, whatever the hell it's going to be called, then we'll get to see what exactly happened to our team, whether half of them disappeared and come back, or we just lose half of them off screen. Who knows? Who knows where they'll pick up? We'll have to wait till then to find out. Until then, this has been the voice of Doom with your Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Minute.
Doom.
So long,
He's so serious.
So, actually, at the end of the show, Markeia and I both have pictures. We both ran into Doom this very week. But
Yes.
before we get to that, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., has finaled and is coming back. So that is, of course, the timeline he laid out. I'm very curious how they deal with that moment post-snap, because if they're coming out after Avengers 4, we'll see. We are not, I'm not going to lie to you, Markeia and I are not caught up on Legion. Amy is, but I want to give that show the credit it deserves. I can't watch it like half on. I have to like, and I haven't had time. It's superhero season. This is like pilot season for actors. I can't sit.
Literally, everything's in 2-hour blocks for like the next couple of
foreseeable
months. Yeah, up into Comic-Con, and after that we can breathe again.
Yeah, I've got June 29th off, and August 17th off, and that's it. So I haven't had time yet. But overall vibes without spoilers.
Which is like
For Legion?
Yes.
Yeah, good stuff. No singing mouse this time. But yeah, lots of interesting things going on. But quick little thing on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I know there's a lot of you guys in the chat that were heartbroken. I don't know if you guys want me to spoil something that happened in the finale. It's like pretty major.
Well, can you do it feelings wise then?
It's okay that you're heartbroken. You're not the only one.
Good.
Still trying to wipe away the tears, but everything's gonna be fine.
Vega booking, quality work.
There you go.
So we will watch Legion, and once this movie Onslaught is slowed down, I want to give it its just desserts. We will definitely plan on it. We'll talk about it when we get there.
Yes, most definitely.
We promise.
Just like we did before when we had I had that really big episode with Alan Kessler. If you remember, we did like a season 1 like all
deep
over
dive.
deep dive. Yeah,
movies are easier because they're like you can watch it, you're done, it's a chunk.
Yes.
We'll do something similar with Legion where we'll just absorb it. So speaking of TV shows that are deep dives, Luke Cage, season 2, soundtrack details. So for me, one of the biggest things I got out of Luke Cage was Jidenna. Jidenna is now it literally made my top 10 Spotify. I listened to Jidenna so much it made that, and I've seen him live twice. Dope. So this means that Luke Cage's soundtrack means a lot to me, and this soundtrack is no different. It's gonna be awesome. It has Ghostface Killah. It's got Faith Evans. It's got Stephen Marley. It's got son of Bob Marley. It's got Esperanza Spalding. There are so many people on this soundtrack, and the show sounds amazing. Several of the artists in the soundtrack performed live on the show, like that live concert they did in the first season, which I love so much.
I love that aspect to it, and I hope that they definitely do something like that. I need some more live. Okay, what I really want is that I want Sade to be part of it. I know that she's not doing. They got her for A Wrinkle in Time. I just kind of want. She would be such a great addition, and I know she's not a part of it, but I'm just going to put that out in the universe that for anything Marvel related, Sade would be so excellent for setting like a mood. Like she's amazing. But they have Faith Evans, which I'm very excited about. Definitely sets a mood. Definitely.
The show comes out on June 22nd. We've watched the trailer. I'm really excited for Bushmaster. It was awesome, that trailer. We also, and this is not in the rundown, it is something that I found out separate. We also found out they just wrapped season 3 of Daredevil. Vincent D'Onofrio tweeted out that they had, and I have a quote that I assume my boy won't mind me reading. It's exciting. It's So that's season 3 just wrapped. It's going to be a whole new level. It is the biggest and best thing my boy Chris Brewster's ever done, and this man was responsible for the hallway. So I talked to Chris. We're going to try to get him on at some point because that dude is a ninja. He did the hallway fight as Daredevil, and he's also Winter Soldier. The guy is so talented. So if this man says it's the biggest and best thing he's ever done, that's insane.
Yes. And in case you didn't, I'm going to just repeat that. He's Daredevil. In the hallway scene that like spawned everything.
The man that changed Netflix is saying it's the biggest and best thing he's ever done.
Oh
That's
my gosh.
crazy.
Like he and then season 2 had escalating stakes. If season 3 keeps going, and the guy also runs in the crazy Marvel circles that he can say that with confidence. Like biggest, best thing he's ever done. He said the actors were incredible. They worked their butts off. Everyone did a great job. So I'm now with that one Facebook message so excited for Daredevil season 3, and Vincent D'Onofrio wrapped publicly. So that show is done, which means we get it soon. I love Daredevil. I'm so excited.
Excellent.
So, I think that is all our TV time today.
Yes.
We now have just some pitches.
We have pictures to share with you. Yeah, so we did a meetup. It was this was May 16th with John Schnepp. It was his birthday, so there was a fan meetup. It was a Collider Heroes squads, Monday and Wednesday, and there were a number of people that had actually flown out or like traveled to go to this meetup. This was apparently the first one that we all did together. So obviously myself, Coy, Amy Dolan, it was Robert, obviously John, and the such. And here's here's the picture for our iTunes people. And it was a glorious group of people that got together, including fans of just our show.
Motorola in there on the left.
Motorola
Motorola in the on the left in the front there.
Yeah. Just felt so good.
Yeah.
It felt so good. It was such a positive meeting, and it's just like being able to talk about things Marvel related, and then people coming up and talking wrestling stuff with me. I was like, yes. I think I even got some game talk in there.
Yeah,
so
it was rad. It was a good time.
It was such a good time. And this was the silly picture that John wanted.
Yeah,
so.
and we might do something similar for Ant-Man and the Wasp. Because
Yeah.
I think doing more fan stuff. This is for you guys. Like this is what we're sharing our love of this with you. So
We are one tribe.
we are one.
One tribe.
The Jabari have joined. So if you guys actually the Jabari, the DC, we want to bring in. That's the thing. Because I love DC stuff. Want to talk about it more.
Yeah.
So if you guys want that Ant-Man and the Wasp meetup, tweet us. Let us know if that's something you're interested in. We'll start to build up to something. We also had a prom, which is where I saw Doom and we decided to take a prom photo, and I called this 21 Doom Street. And then Miss Markeia I missed by like 10 minutes.
Yeah, like it was 10
Like
minutes.
10 minutes later, the sequel happened, and almost that
did
sequel.
we-
Did you? Oh, is it in there? There's also a picture that's adorable.
Oh,
that's
it's me at prom with a bouquet.
and it's 22 Doom Street.
Yeah, so I'm the sequel. It's by myself, but I don't.
Oh, I thought you took a picture with Doom.
Oh, I did take a picture with Doom
Oh,
also.
I've been calling that 22 Doom Street in my head all week.
Oh yeah, the Doom picture. It's a proper prom photo with me and Doom. It's like me standing behind him, and we're both holding a bouquet of flowers, looking and cheesing at the camera.
It's fantastic.
So-
Sorry I didn't get that GM Anthony. I thought it was in there. But it's adorable. Go on social media. And then we also had an amazing Deadpool week.
Yeah, I've been doing Deadpool pop-ups, like just because it's so much fun. The promotional team of Deadpool is ridiculous. I want to party with them because they know exactly what they're doing. I went to Deadpool karaoke and they had all this flair, and then afterwards at the end of the night they were like pushing things into your hands like wall decorations. I have a 3D glow in the dark Deadpool
That's
head
so
that is
sick.
now on my window, now on my my wall. I'll post a picture of it. But yeah, and yeah, it was a Deadpool karaoke. It was the host was William Hung, and Louis Tan was there along with Aramis Knight from Into the Badlands. He was just and actually I have interviews with the both of them.
fantastic.
Yeah, it was really great. So I ended up singing a duet with Louis Tan, No Diggity, and no doubt it was great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lewis is awesome, by the way. Any
Yeah,
fans of Into the
super cool
Badlands,
person.
great dude. He actually, like, we know so many of the same stunt people, so when I met Lewis, it was like an old friend, and he's just the chillest guy.
Yeah, rest assured when you see him on screen and everything, he's a good-natured person and a little bit of a nerd, which is cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty rad.
Yeah.
So I think that is all the photos we have. We have some shout-outs to get through.
Okay, we have Erica at ehungry302, Chad at ChadDeBear28, Rhonda Thompson at KissAngel864, SML at Feeling Roguish, Entre Humane at Entre Humane, Dirty Daniel420 at Dirty Daniel420_, Archie at Archie7192, Jose Estrada at Jose TICC, Daniel Brongers at Brongers457. So do we
We
want
got
to
a couple
get
comments, questions, like 3 or 4. We can do
All
it.
right, great. So, Sabhajit at I'm_Sabhajit. You know who should play Craven the Hunter? And then JD. Oh, is
Jeffrey
that
D. Morgan.
Jeffrey D. Morgan? And then he's like, hire him.
He's
or
great.
she's like, hire him.
been
They
saying-
say hire him.
I've been saying Javier Bardem, and they have a very similar vibe.
They do.
like Javier Bardem and Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Like, so yes, I agree.
I've actually
Cool.
interviewed Jeffrey Dean Morgan. He's so
Yeah?
freaking sweet. So yes,
Good.
all the good
That's good
things
to
for
hear.
him.
Yeah. Oh, and in the chat room, yes. Louis Tan was on Collider Heroes with us last
Yeah.
week. So we did talk about Shatterstar and Deadpool 2. And thank you for also watching that other show with us. So, yeah. And then from YouTube. Oh, no, wait. So.
Oh, yeah, Aaron Wilkerson, friend of the show, wants to know when the first annual Jandro Chimmy Beep Chonga, because that's what I call them, cook-off's going to be. And you know what? If we play our cards right, maybe by Deadpool 3. Maybe the release. I'm scheming some stuff up. Maybe we'll make it a thing. I would love to have Ma Familia a la Fast and the Furious by way of Chimichanga, bringing my two worlds together.
And then from YouTube for Coy, also chimichangas. This is from Straight Edge _Vegan Bell. Oh my God, just use vegan cheese. They have vegan cheese and sour cream and well, everything else. Everything.
But I'm gonna tell you something. Straight edge vegan Bell. I respect that you respect your body, but I don't, and I love cheese. So if I eat vegan cheese, I worry about my safety, my sanity, and my reality. Vegan cheese to me tastes like watery cashews, and I've yet to have good vegan cheese, and I appreciate that you can, but chimichangas are sacred.
So take that as a challenge and tweet him.
If you can find me good
Tweet
vegan
him
cheese.
good vegan cheese.
I would love that.
So everybody tweet
Vegan cheese
good.
is good.
I have yet to find good vegan cheese.
I don't eat vegan cheese.
I want to find, because pizza,
don't
whenever I have vegan cheese, I feel like it just you know when you have a really old stick of gum and it dissolves in your
I'm
mouth
just
like
kidding.
like a snap, you know, the finger snap.
No one should know that.
Actually,
Nobody should know
no.
old gum dissolve. Are you going from gather your party?
I had old gum before that, so I knew their pain.
Okay.
But to me, vegan cheese tastes like a Galactus snap.
You put 90s gum in your mouth.
I did,
And
and I
you
knew.
swallowed it.
No.
I'm just saying,
It's when we were doing Geek and Sundry, gather your party.
it's a post finger snap cheese, vegan cheese. I'm just saying it dusts in your mouth, and I don't trust it.
From Miss Resort. It is so glorious to be a Marvel fan at this point in my life. We need a king's discussion about these women who are so kick-ass, Adora and the Valkyrie. I don't understand the term a king's discussion, but I understand what I am assuming she, because Miss, is having to say. And yeah, Dora Milaje and the Valkyrie are amazing. I mean, we kind of got the feeling of having Dora, the Milaje crossover with some of our other females in Infinity War, and then having something like the Dora Milaje and the Valkyrie together. Like maybe there's a pocket of Valkyrie somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe Scrapper 142 wasn't the last one. I hope I got the number right. I think it was
I think
142.
142, yeah.
Yeah. From Billy Barnett. I'm such a sad little nerd. I only play comic book games and I'm a PS fella. I don't have a PS4 yet because I'm poor. But I'm saving my cash for that Spidey console and game. Oh my God, how awesome is life right now?
Billy, I love that. I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
I do not yet have a PS4. I pre-ordered. I haven't had a console in years. I pre-ordered because I'm slowly going to pay it off because I can't afford it either. I haven't had a thing since PS2. So I haven't gamed since. Yeah, I'm getting a PS4 for this game, and I am also saving because, man, oh man, gaming is not cheap. And I also want to not have one game, just one.
Also,
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to this game.
Looks so good!
It's
That
been
was a
such
good
a long
game.
time since I played a Spider-Man game, and Spider-Man 2, based off the movie, was one of my favorite video games playing on the old Xbox.
Yeah.
And it had such a cool sandbox element to it. I love going up to the Empire State Building and just leaping off and just swinging before I hit the ground. It was fantastic.
That was one of the last
Yeah.
games I played, actually. That was like that and Ultimate Spider-Man, my last two games. So that was then.
Yeah, I have thoroughly enjoyed most of the Spider-Man games. Obviously, there's that one that we're not going to talk about. But my problem is that I'm a completionist, and when they do those, having to find the tokens
Yeah.
in different places, different rooftops, it wrecks my life. That wrecks my life because I need it.
your life.
I need to.
It is
I need
your
to
life.
find all of those tokens. But Billy, real quick. So I collect a lot of consoles, and I've done that all of my life. And I say collect in the sense that I hoard and use them and go back to them like years later. So, but I do understand when I did a PS4, I waited like 2 years before it came out. After it came out, because I had so many things for PS3, there was no point. I just kept on replaying my games and and getting to the completionist level of the games that I had, and they're awesome. There's a lot of really great games on PS3. But for this, what I do is that I really do set aside a gaming fund. If there's something that I know that's going to be coming out that I want, and I want to buy it right away, I want to do the pre-order, I want to do a collector's edition or a goals edition or something like that. And it literally is, I just set $20 outside of each of my paychecks until it equals whatever it is that I want, and then I get it. And this is assuming that I don't land whatever, kind of
Yeah.
thing, and then it's like, woo, I'm going to Hawaii, or something.
And a PS4.
And a PS4, which is always a great time in life. That's always great. I wish, Billy, that we had the type of show right now where I could be like, well, Billy, look under your chair.
When we can Oprah you,
You
we'll
would get
Oprah
a
you.
PS4.
When we can Oprah you or Oprah some fans, I will love that.
That time's
And-
coming, but it's just not
there you
yet.
go.
But maybe a chimichanga off. We're working on it.
But yeah, hopefully that helps out a little bit. And it's all right. It's all right that you have PS. Just play your PS games.
Yeah.
And Web of Shadows was awesome. I've seen it played. I've never played it. So that is all the time we have for today. Where can they find you on the internet, Markeia?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Markeia McCarty, Markeia MCCARTY. And tomorrow you can see me on Collider Heroes. It's Wednesdays, and that goes up at 2 p.m. And then for tonight, I may or may not be on Trivia Hops at Hyper RPG. We will see, because that would have to be at 6 p.m. and that has a drinking element to it that would not be very conducive for the Black Panther RPG that I'm doing at 8 p.m. with that same at Hyper RPG. But definitely tune in. Yeah,
I just think Shuri is the most inspired of them all.
That would be fun to watch.
If T'Challa wasn't the king at the time, then maybe the Killmonger could have done it better than T'Challa's hats.
Wow.
I'll be like, you get it, Shuri. Like, who wants some Kamoyo beads?
Everybody gets a PS4. I'm T'Challa. Where can they find you?
You guys can find me on all social media at Amy Cassandra MTZ. And yeah, watch my stuff on Geek Bomb. It's been so much fun to be working with them. So we do all things nerdy. So if you like nerdy things, which I'm pretty sure you do, make sure you watch us there. Yeah, lots of other Marvel things that I do. And yeah, just follow me.
Maud's a sweetie. I love her.
She's so
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Coyjandreau, CoyJandreau. Forgot my name. You can find me on Collider Heroes. You can find me on my Instagram channel all week. This week, my Insta reviews will begin as Deadpool. I am in that makeup for my Insta reviews because I figured make lemonade of that lemon because that was hard makeup to put on. So, some very special Insta reviews this week. And shout out my boy Chris Brewster. If you guys are on Twitter, follow Ninja Brewski. That man is Daredevil and Winter Soldier, and he has barely more followers than I do. He deserves much more recognition. Send him my love. Send him my thanks for making Marvel better. He's awesome, and I will see you guys next week.
Yeah.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of its owners or principals.